Hi, today I'm going to discuss about the three topics. These are point-to-point connections, branch connections, and also the access list. So let's get started. Okay, let's discuss about now the point-to-point connection. Okay, we'll discuss the introduction to point-to-point connections, and followed by point-to-point protocols, point-to-point configuration. We'll do the testing for the. Okay, a point-to-point connection, also known as a serial or leased line connection, is one of the most common types of one connection, particularly in long distance communication, because these connections are typically provided by a carrier, such as telephone company. Boundaries between carriers manage and what the customer manage must be clearly defined. Okay, let's start with HDLC. HDLC, yeah, the high level data link control is basically a group of data link layer protocols of open system interconnection, or OSI, that is required to transmit synchronous data packets of frame among point-to-point nodes. It also provides both connection-oriented service and connectionless service. So in HDLC, data is organized into a unit called frame and sent across a network to a destination that verifies its successful arrival. The HDLC protocol also manages the flow or pacing at which data is sent. DLC is one of the most common used internet protocol, right? In what layer? In what is layer 2 of the industry communication reference model called Open System Interconnection, or OSI. So how does HDLC work? So in this diagram, uh, it shows that the service provider in middle. We will demonstrate how it's communicating using the HDLC protocol. So let's do the lab. Okay. So now we are going to connect to router. Okay. Let's connect to router and test. So now we will assign IP address. Okay. Well, this time we will enable the um, HDLC protocol. So now we are already in the interface, so we will command encapsulation HDLC. Okay, so that is router 0. Uh, the other router will also configure. Boom. So encapsulation. All right. So now it's configured. So let's verify. So, so from here we will see that the HDLC protocol is enabled. Okay. The other one will also show the okay. So from here also protocol HDLC is already activated. So let's try to ping the router to test it. Okay. So it's pinging. It's communication activated. The other side, okay, both sides are on. So that's all for HDLC. Okay, let's continue. So the connectivity test done. Okay, so let's continue. Next. Okay, so we're done. One. So now we are going to point-to-point protocol or PPP. Point-to-point protocol (PPP) is a TCP/IP protocol that is used to connect one computer system to another. Computers use PPP to communicate over the telephone network or the internet. So a PPP connection exists when two systems physically connect through a telephone line. A PPP connection exists when two systems physically connect to telephone line. So you can use PPP to connect one system to another. So let's do the lab for the PPP. So let's go back here. So PPP basically is very easy to configure. So now we will use the same routers. So let's go interface SE 0 plus 0. So we'll disable the HDLC because we use it already. So by this command, no HDLC encapsulation. So sorry, interface here, encapsulation, PPP, right? So now we can see, let's see the configuration. Zero interface, just zeros, last one. So now the configuration is forced to become PPP because we changed them. So on the other router, we will go to the PPP. Yeah, zero is this. Now encapsulation P, solution interface. So it's now, let's see, page. So now it's encapsulated. Okay. So now we can do a test by pinging. So let's ping the out on that other side too. So both are communicating to each other. So that's all for the PT. So it's done for the PPP. So let's continue the, the laboratory. Yes. No, no, let's go. Let's continue the discussion. So PPOE, point to point over Ethernet, um, VPN secure site to site and remote access connectivity, DRE or the generic routing encapsulation panel, and BGP, border gateway protocol. Okay. So what is PPOE or the point to point over Ethernet? Most ISPs or the ISP, internet service provider around the world, provide a broadband internet subscription. Some of them use the technology known as PPP or the point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. Even if you follow the steps for the configuring PPP OE connection at home, so there's a chance you don't know what PPPoE is or what it does. You should read this article if you want to understand what is PPOE. We try to explain this concept as simply as possible using as few acronyms and IT technical terms as possible. So PPPoE is an abbreviation of point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. PPOE for protocol that involves from an older protocol known as P, so which stands for PP, point-to-point protocol. PPPoE was created to manage how data is transmitted over Ethernet networks, cable network, and it enables a single server connection to be divided among multiple clients via Ethernet. As a result, multiple clients can connect to the same server from the internet service provider and access the internet concurrently. To put it simply, PPOE is a modernized version of the old dial-up connection popular in 1980s and So PPPoE, point-to-point over Ethernet. This is the diagram. Um, so this is the way the PPP over Ethernet works. So you will find there is a modem, there is the router, and Ethernet. So in this way, in this diagram, see that the to access the internet through router and dialing to ISP to provide internet for this. So let's go about the purpose. What is the purpose of PPPoE? So PPPoE is primarily used by internet service provider to provide internet access to the customer. So what are the requirements for establishing PPPoE internet connection? If your service provider or the ISP employs PPOE, you will require at least two items from the ISP. They will give you a distinct ID or the username and password and the router that connects you to the service provider network. So once you establish connection from your home, from your modem going to the ISP, so you will be able to get internet connection. Okay, let's go to VPN, secure site-to-site and remote access. So organization requires secure, dependable, and cost-effective method of connecting multiple networks, such as allowing branch office and suppliers to connect to a corporation headquarters network. Furthermore, as the number of teleworkers grows, business must adapt, have a growing need for secure, dependable, and cost-effective methods of connecting employees working from a small office, home office, or other remote location with a resource on the corporate website. So VPN, what is VPN? A virtual private network extends a private network across public network, so allowing users to send and receive data as if their computer equipment were physically linked to a private network. So VPN, site-to-site connectivity. So you can see site-to-site VPN, remote access VPN, DMVPN, or the dynamic multi-point VPN, DRE, or generic routing encapsulation, and keyboard route protocol. Okay, what is site-to-site VPN? Site-to-site VPN, virtual private network, is a connection between two or more networks, such as a corporate network and a branch office network. So many organizations use site-to-site VPNs to leverage an internet connection for private traffic as an alternative using private TLS circuit. So for the company with the branches, so for them to establish the network or connectivity, they use to connect using VN or virtual private network to MPLS. So in that type of configuration, both sites are enabled, or both sites are probably able to connect each other and communicate and do the day-to-day transaction, for example, uh, accessing to the corporate network, accessing servers, the services, transferring file, something sort of like that. So site-to-site VPN, you will see on the diagram. So site-to-site VPN is like it serves as media, such a way that it's like uh, two offices are able to communicate each other using virtual uh, network or VPN. Site-to-site VPN, what is required for site-to-site VPN? So a VPN gateway or router firewall, VPN operator or security appliance, such as Cisco Adaptive Appliance or ASA, is required at both sites to set up the internet-based site-to-site VPN between sites. So, so ASA is a type of appliance which have security features. So to secure the communication between two offices, so both end-to-end uh, uh, install the ASA or firewall. Okay, so let's go to remote access VPN. So what is remote access VPN? What is remote access VPN? Remote access virtual private network encrypts all traffic sent and received by users working remotely, allowing them to safely access and use programmers and data stored in the company data center and quarter. So that is okay. So on the screen, you will see the example of remote access VPN. So because of the um, remote access VPN, uh, users can work from home by using this kind of technology. So although he is at home or she is at home, um, by using remote access VPN, uh, connection can be established using the VPN and access the services from the offices, from the main office, services or the resources, or using the system uh, using by remote access VPN, users are able to communicate and access all the necessary resources to accomplish or to do his or her job. Okay, next is DMVPN. We are the dynamic multi-point VPN. Okay, so what is a dynamic multi-point virtual private network or the DMVPN? A dynamic multi-point virtual private network, or we call it shortly DMVPN, is a secure network that exchanges data across sites or routers without going via company's virtual private network or VPN or server or router. A DMVPN allows business to create a VPN network with numerous sites without having to manually set up device. Okay, so this is the diagram. The diagram shows how the dynamic multi VPN multi-point VPN. So if you are familiar with the Spoke Hub technology, this is the setup how it works. So in this setup, by the way, the public IP address is necessary, wherein the public IP address is the one configured to the hub, or the not that hub, the routers. So even multiple branches can directly communicate simultaneously to the public IP address. So by using the MVPN configuration, offices or branch offices or even POS can directly communicate with the enterprise network. So hub and spoke network architecture, IPsec VPN networks, point-to-point links are formed between routers that are included in the VPNs. The traditional method of establishing an encrypted network entails the creation of a shared secret between two endpoints, allowing both ends to decrypt and the other has encrypted. In order to achieve optimal efficiency, these large numbers of point-to-point links need to be organized into hub and spoke networks for safe transmission. Encryption and decryption takes place twice. Once between the source spoke and the hub, and again between the hub and the destination. Oh, so what DMVPN advantages? So the benefits of dynamic multi-point virtual private network are also, there is no need for large quantity of capital, or the operational costs are lowered when it comes to VPN security. The cost of integrating multimedia might be quite high. It demonstrates a significant increase in business flexibility. Businesses can easily meet their objectives if they are incur any losses. They can quickly recoup them, and archiving their break-even point no longer problematic. The flexibility of the entire business is continuously increasing. The use of IPsec technology has resulted in a significant reduction in business disruption. Communicating um, are becoming more straightforward. Business connectivity at the branch level establish strong connection, especially for the voice and the application. So there are significant reduced deployment complexity. There are zero touch configuration included. So next is the GRE, or we call it generic routing encapsulation. So what is GRE? GRE is a generic routing encapsulation. It's a protocol that encapsulating data packets from one routing protocol inside packets from another. So encapsulating means enclosing one data packet within another, similar to putting a box inside another. GRE is one method of establishing a direct point-to-point connection across a network in order to simplify connection between separate networks. So it is compatible with a wide range of network layer protocols. So from the screen, um, we are able to see the connection how established. So in this case, the two routers, we just need two routers and the IP address, and then once we assign the IP address, we GRE panel configuration will do paneling, okay, by using another IP address on both Ethernet on both router, each Ethernet interface, each interface. So So we'll do the lab for this one to show how the configuration for ER